The Higher Ground Theater Project is a group out of Harlan County. The project focuses on using oral histories to create a narrative about specific issues in Harlan County. Music and visual art complement the narrative told by a group of around 40 to 80 actors of all ages from different regions of the county and from all walks of life. To get some more information on Higher Ground, I conducted an interview with Robert Geip. Geip is a published author, a professor, and the director of Appalachian program at Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College in Cumberland, Kentucky, and is one of the producers of Higher Ground. Where did the idea or concept for this theater group come about?
In 2002, my Appalachian Studies class was involved in writing a proposal to the Rockefeller Foundation in New York, and it was to a program called PACT, the Partnerships Affirming Community Transformation. And we were using we used the arts to respond to the prescription drug crisis. About 200 oral histories in support of the first Higher Ground play.
Initially, Higher Ground was kind of a one-hit deal. It was not expected to be as big of a hit as it has become over the past several years. Then, people of the community just wanted to do the first play repeatedly because they did not think they could produce another play as great as the original. However, Robert Geip felt that this was the wrong attitude. Even if the next ones weren't as good, he said that they needed to keep on doing more work, telling more stories, being creative, and keeping up with what was happening in the community. With this attitude in mind, they have created 7 original works. The plays address many themes ranging from race, land use, push and pull factors of the region, and so on. With the music and dance used throughout the plays, it shows how we can come together in times of trouble and celebrate. Geip said that he feels that the plays are intended to reflect the region, who we really are at our best, the generosity we have towards each other, and how we embrace life in all of its hardships and celebrations.
I think that a couple of times where I felt like it translated into reality. The 5th play was about what do we do with young people, how do we make a place for the next generation, what do we do for young people as older people, and we let the younger cast members direct the play and write the play. And that was pretty important for us, and like really thinking as a group about how do we make room for the young people, and that's still a hard question. It's still hard to think about how do we keep our talented young people in the community. But we did make work for people for a time and got young people used to working in this work, and I think it still motivates me is how do you create jobs for young people. I think that around the drug issue that really I've seen felt the most impact on the issue with this most recent play, because the Mountain Comprehensive Health in Basin Whitesburg has asked us to keep doing it places that they're really talking about implementing a needle exchange and really just changing their medical organization, changing the way they look at addiction and addicts, and they're talking about doing the needle exchanges within the doctor's office. There's been a lot of examples where stories in the play were echoed in the real lives of our actors, but just in terms of the impact of the play itself, those 2 examples spring to mind.
Okay.
Shady Grove, pretty little miss, I'm going back to Harlan.
Music for the plays comes from a combination of original compositions from the artists, commissioned pieces, and music from local bands like the Kudzu Killers. In the plays, there have been several types of dance, including clogging, contemporary dance, and choreographed group dance. At one point, they even had a choreographer from Chicago come to help with the production. They've also had music directors for the first 5 plays, but since then, they have generally just tried to pick music that fits the needs of the play and creates an original sound for the group. The group has been able to take their plays on the road to places like the University of North Georgia, Virginia Tech, Berea College, Eastern Kentucky University, Emory and Henry College, and to several other Appalachian conferences in Pikeville and West Virginia, just to name a few.
My mom and my sister, Lord, under shade of a cloudy day. Shade of a cloudy day. Singing out about your glory, Lord, just before the valley washed away. Before the valley washed away. Where do you find my devil, Lord? My devil, Lord, away. Started singing down the river, oh, side, Lord, to stay, to stay. Find my devil, Lord.
I think that higher ground is, in its way, simple enough and important enough that it'll keep going, that somebody else will find a way to run it, and that we won't let it die. And, you know, it's like, I think it'll keep on. I think that one of the things is that at its core it is pretty simple, but I think we'll survive. I mean, there's always stories to tell, and we just enjoy writing the stories, so I think we'll figure it out.
Do you have anything else you want to add, or am I forgotten?
I would say, I mean, you know, well, I don't think I've ever said this on a recording, but I think, you know, it's like your grandmother and grandfather were very important to, like, getting higher ground off the ground. I think that they were such great community people, and they talked your family into getting involved. Yeah, and I think that when they said that you guys were going to do it, that it really helped, you know, and Higher Grounds had a lot of different versions and different people. I mean, you think about the number of different people that have been involved in the county. I mean, when we're doing some community development work now, and, you know, you have lots of friends, you have lots of people that are partners, but when you've had that Higher Ground experience with somebody, that's a real, I mean, it's like, you know, being shipwrecked or something. You've lived through a thing, and nobody can ever take that away from you. And I change the way people look at what we're capable of here in the county. You know, that who knows, that might never have been as strong if it hadn't been for your family getting involved. And so I've always felt like we owed you a debt of gratitude, and then of course, you know, it's like your dad's still involved, and Farce was involved for longer, and so then, and I mean, you know, and the other thing was just like all those connections are. That's one of the happiest things for me about Higher Ground. It's just people that wouldn't have known each other.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, that know each other because of.
What started as a simple play, Higher Ground has transformed into its own community that has spanned over a decade thus far. This group has allowed the people of Harlan County and the surrounding Appalachian region to come together, share their stories, voice community hardships, and develop friendships that will last a lifetime. I am thankful to be part of this community, and I can only imagine how far they will go from here.